Hello everyone and welcome to my Blythe dollhouse tour. This is a work in progress dollhouse that I'm making for my Blythes, and as you can see it's not an actual dollhouse. It's an IKEA shelving unit, and it's got 4 sections, and I'm making each section into a room for my girls. I did try and film this yesterday when it was a beautiful sunny warm day here in the UK. Bit odd for February, but anyway, it's been like that all week. And of course my tablet's battery ran out. So I had to abandon that, and then I didn't get a chance because the children were home from school. So today I'm home alone. They're at school, and I finally got a chance to try again. And of course it's miserable today and raining, so I've done my best with the lights that I've got here in the bedroom, which is where the dollhouse is, but please forgive me if it's a bit of a dark video. I will do my best to not stand in the way of the lights. Okay, I'll move in a bit closer and we'll look at one room at a time. We'll start with this room, as it's the room that's got the most done decorating wise. I have wallpapered 2 of the 3 walls. Unfortunately I couldn't do the 3rd wall because I ran out of paper. I was using scrapbook paper, and I found this design which was perfect for how I wanted the room to look. But of course I didn't have enough. I thought I would, but no. And when I went back to buy some more of that design, they'd sold out. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do about that. But anyway, I just sort of photograph it like this. And then you can't really see that there's a wall that's not got anything on it. Okay, these 2 Blythes are my White Rabbit Blythes by Mink Yip. She's a UK-based customiser, and her dolls are just beautiful, as you can see. This is Amber, and she's got a translucent faceplate, so you can't really see her on the camera, but she's got a lovely sort of tone to her face. And then Cora at the back. And these 2 are my sort of circus girls. I have a thing that maybe they're in charge of the house and they might be running the circus, and some of my other girls are performers in the circus, and there's a few strange acts, shall we say, which I'll introduce you to in the next room. And they have their teddy bear friend here, who clearly is also works in the circus. He was made by Karen Jarvis, whose Etsy shop is Karen Ruby Designs. So that's those girls. Oh, incidentally, Cora's dress was also made by Karen Ruby. I'm going for a bit of a gothic theme in here, but as you can see, the lighting that I've got is an angle poised lamp, which doesn't really fit in with the whole gothic theme, but it's all I could find, and it's just a little book light. Anyway, so that's the first room. On to the second room, where we meet some of the strange performers from the circus. So in the bathtub here is Siren, and as you can see, she's a mermaid. Siren was made with a Spooky Kids Workshop faceplate, and then I put her together myself. And next to her is Venom. Venom is a vampire. She's an icy girl as opposed to a Blythe, and she is another Spooky Kids Workshop faceplate girl that I put together. I'm just going to home in a bit on her eye chips because she's got some very special eye chips. As you can see, I hope you can see, they are actually a little girl's face. Now there's a story with those. They were sent to me as a gift, and what happened was Karen Jarvis, Karen Ruby Designs, who I've just been talking about with the other room, she had a doll made for her by White Rabbit Blythes, who I've also just been talking about, and Mink made those eye chips to go in her doll. And when she posted pictures on her Facebook of her new doll, it freaked me out a little bit, but in a totally good way, because that little girl is the spitting image of my younger daughter. Clearly it's not her, because those photos were taken over 100 years ago. They're a very old photo, but I just thought it was really weird how she looked just like my daughter. So I messaged Karen and told her this, and then unbeknownst to me, she contacted Mink and asked her if she would make some more eye chips and send them to me as a gift from them both. So that was really lovely. I wasn't expecting to receive them, and I waited a long time to find a girl to put them in. I just wanted the right kind of doll. And when I saw this vampire faceplate, I thought that's brilliant, because it's sort of a bit spooky. The little girl, maybe she's the reflection of the little girl that she used to be before she was a vampire or something like that. Anyway, so I put my girl together, and obviously she has 3 other lovely pairs of eye chips, as well as all Ices and Blythes do, and everything was fine. Everything worked wonderfully until I put her back together. Now, anybody who's ever put together a Blythe or an Icy will know it's not an easy job, and I struggled as usual to get all the head bits together and screwed together. And when I finally had managed that, her iMech decided it wasn't going to work anymore. I cannot get her eye chips to change, and I figure it's just Venom's way of telling me, actually, I don't want to have any other eye chips on display. I just want to have these. So there we are. So that's the story with my Icy girl. And then the third and final Blythe in this room. Now, I've just shown you 4 beautifully customised dolls and faceplates, and now we have this girl. Not so much. And it's fine for me to say that, because I customised this girl myself. She was my first ever attempt at a Blythe custom, and in fact my first ever attempt at customising any type of doll. So I have named her Eve. And Eve is my little private detective girl, and the reason I made her a private detective is, in my naivety, I thought I was doing everything properly with this girl. I thought I was correcting her gaze and boggling her so that her eyelids wouldn't show anymore. I don't know what I was doing, but clearly I wasn't boggling her or gaze correcting her, because she's not at all correct. So consequently, she's got this sort of lowered look, and looking out from underneath her eyelids, and she looks like she's kind of keeping an eye on everything, watching what's going on, taking it all in. So I thought, yeah, private detective, I think that suits her perfectly. So she has got her little trench coat. She is a huge fan of Hercule Poirot, so that's why she's got a dress covered in Poirot moustaches. I think he's her hero. And her little bag with notebook and things, and her camera, of course. And I think she's come to investigate the strange performers that live in the house. So I think she's interviewing Siren and Venom at the moment. So that is what is going to become the bathroom, as you can see. That's that. Now we go downstairs. Things get a bit more normal downstairs, and we have the living room here. As you can see in the living room, it's still Christmas, and that's just simply because I haven't tidied away the Christmas tree yet. Right, let's turn around so you can get a better look of my Blythes here. Okay, the 2 Neo Blythes, that's the big Blythes, are my Blythe and Shine girls. Now, Meg here, which is the brown-haired girl on the sofa, she was my very first Blythe. She is the one that started it all, and she'll never leave me for that reason. She is very special to me. And like I say, she's a Blythe and Shine girl. That's Julie Pashke, who is in Australia. I don't think Julie's customising dolls at the moment. She took a break and then did come back and do a couple more, but I haven't seen anything of her on Etsy recently. But she's worth looking up because her dolls are lovely. And this is Meg's little sister Poppy with the black bob. So I'm trying to get better lighting for you, but I'm not sure if I'm going to manage it. No. She's very cute. She's got little teeth, which are very sweet. And they're joined, there we go, that's a better shot of her, look, in the light. They're joined in the living room by my one middy, which is an almond doll custom, and that's Emily. She's got lovely, beautiful almond doll green eyes. I'm not sure if I can show those really because of the light, but there we are. And they are all sort of just gathered in the living room watching TV. Now, I have recently bought a replacement TV to go in the Blythe dollhouse, which I'm going to show you on my next sort of shopping update. But in the meantime, what I did to start with is I stuck this thing on the wall, which is a sort of approximately TV shaped. And it's one of those Disney emoji blind pack things. Anyway, so they are all gathered around watching, I don't know, Sad Cars, that well-known Disney movie. I'll sort that out. That's just temporary. And the final person or member of the family that's in this room is the house pet. And that is Mr. Chubster here, the little hamster. And he is an eraser, as is his cupcake, which he's about to eat. In fact, there's several eraser props in the house, little tiny food rubbers, the cactus there, and they all came from W.H. Smith's here in the UK. I do have very few items of actual, what I call real dollhouse food, that I've got from a lady on Etsy. And if you look by the Christmas tree, there's some Christmas gingerbread men and some cupcakes there, and that's one of the things I bought from her. The last thing to say about this room is that they're sitting on vintage Cindy furniture. So that's the living room. The last room then is of course the kitchen. This is the kitchen cum cafe, and this is run by my second Blythe custom, who is this girl in the back, and she is my take on Cinderella, which is why she's got a slightly sooty face. Doesn't show up too well on the camera, but yeah, she's also got extremely grubby arms and legs, and indeed her whole body. It was a liquor body that I bought on eBay, and when it arrived it was really grubby and I could not clean it, no matter what I did. So it kind of inspired me to make my grubby little Cinderella character. Cinderella has always been very special to me, so I think it was inevitable that I would try and make a Cinderella doll. But that's her, and she of course is helped in the cafe by Gus, which is her little mouse friend. Anybody who's seen the Disney original Cinderella will know who Gus is. And this is a mini Buell garçon rat, and he was actually part of a Poulip series which was based around Cinderella, so he's meant to be Cinderella's friend, but his Cinderella is a Blythe rather than a Poulip. And they have one customer in the cafe today following the fairy tale theme. It is of course Little Red Riding Hood and her wolf. Now her wolf is a Christmas tree decoration, and we have to be very quiet when we say this because he's super sensitive about this, but he is actually an Arctic fox. Shh, don't let him hear you say that, because yes, he's a wolf. He's definitely a wolf. Okay. And Little Red Riding Hood here, sorry, it's a bit awkward to get if I'm getting... She's another faceplate girl. I bought the faceplate and put her together, and her faceplate is by Blythe Adore, although she's changed her name recently to Zuzu Dolls. So it's a Zuzu Dolls faceplate. And she also goes by the name of Isabel. My elder daughter wanted to name her Isabel because she has long dark hair just like her best friend, which I thought was really sweet. So how could I refuse? So that is Isabel. And the last thing to say about the kitchen, the furniture is remint. I did have Isabel sitting on one of the chairs, but anybody who has a Blythe and has tried to sit them on a remint chair will know it's very difficult. They're very top heavy with their heavy heads, and I just didn't have time to tie her onto the chair. So she's currently stood next to the chair. And again, the real sort of dollhouse food, which is just gorgeous. That little jug has custard dripping down the front of it, which is brilliant. It's from a lady on Etsy. There we are. And at the back we just have some other eraser foods in little jars and things. Okay, I'm going to move back round my bed very carefully to give you another overview of the whole thing. I hope you've enjoyed my introduction to my Blythe dollhouse. Obviously it is very much a work in progress, and I just thought it might be nice to show you all what it's like now, and then as I do each room I can show you what I've done, and hopefully it will come together really well. Thank you very much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.